Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this video that we have for today on the Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. All seriousness here. I want to go ahead and take a look at price action. The sad thing is the system basically said do not trade. That is a trade in our case, but I do want to take a look at some of the levels and just kind of show you why the system, when it says what it is telling us, why not to trade, really what does price action do when that happens, and why a lot of people get suckered in, and then from there they're frustrated because the market doesn't move that day, right? So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. This is the 15-minute candle. You can see our lines are always on here, nothing different, always the same, right? You always talk about this green line, the purple line, the breakout trigger, the breakdown trigger, daily support, daily resistance, right? 30-minute high and low. That's your lines again and again, over and over. Now, what is going to happen when you're around those lines? And that is what we're going to go look at now. You can see I have put the Fibonacci's on here. All I did was just mark the bottom trigger and the top trigger. That's basically the span that we mark. Those are your rock hard truths. So every single day you can do that if you wanted to. You're always going to have the trigger, or your targets, I mean, where they're going to go. Target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4 up here. And if you wanted those, I'm going to actually open this up just so you can see it. These are the settings in that Fibonacci if you wanted to take a look at them. And then on the coordinates, on the colors, I chose orange for target 1, orange for target 2, green for target 3. Those are the main areas that I'm looking for anyways on the extension. Everything down here I just left as defaulted. I do like to have the prices on there for myself and the levels and text. And then I went ahead and just said save as, and I called mine targets EST extensions. So that's it. And then from there, once you put that on the charts, of course, then you can see your target areas for the price movement. So now going into what I was talking about earlier, before I went into the charts here, is looking at the 15-minute. And if you look at our gap range, which is for the top side is the breakout trigger to the daily resistance. Well, a lot of times the daily resistance is above of the breakout trigger, but in this case they're pretty much right on top of each other. Well, we want to see at least a 0.5 gap measurement. Well, if you wonder why or what that means, if you go over to your measurement tool right over here on the left of trading view and you click on that and select it, you can choose, you click on either one of the lines and then you measure to the other line. In this case it's basically 0.4 roughly, 0.5 range. Or 0.4, 0.5, sorry. What we want is 0.5 to 1.5. If we're not within that kind of that range, we definitely don't want to trade anything less than 0.5. So in this case, you don't want to trade today. The area down below, you might say, okay, well, could we take a bottom trade? Well, it's less than 0.5 also, so the answer is no. Now, if it was, you could look at it, and if price action started to break down, that would be a pretty strong trade. Well, since we're less than that, probably the energy in that trade is probably not really there. So now what I want to say here is you can see how price action just reacted. Now it's nice because it got above the trigger and kind of reacted through that, and it did run into a target 1 on this, which was nice. That's pretty neat little movement. But we want to make sure we get in high probability trades. So if we were going to build this trade out and get into it, well, I don't want to get into it in this candle because this is the 8:30 Central Standard candle for myself. That's really, we're going to make it easy for everybody. It's on the New York Stock Exchange when it opens. So that is actually 9:30 Eastern time. So wherever you're at, you can do the math off of that. So we want to wait for at least 15 minutes for that candle to open up, print, and then close. It's just because there's a lot of things that kick in. You see a lot of volatility. You can see the volatility right here. This blue line all the way down to this blue line is that 15-minute candle. Look how it ran all the way up and then came all the way down. And the next candle after that is when we want to start looking at potential of a trade. And I want to see it close above this green line. Well, the next candle really didn't close below it. We got even lower trade down here. And then this candle broke out and we got the close. So if you're going to take a look at getting into that trade, it would be right there on this candle, where I'm going to get in on the break, the trigger, but I'm going to put my stop at the 30-minute low if I'm going to go long, and then we can say, well, let's trade it right back to the 30-minute. Well, that's your trade. You know, it's a lot of room for the stop. Now you could move it up and play around with it. I don't do that. I always stay at the 30-minute low. If it's going to go short, I'll go to the 30-minute high, and let's just keep it simple there. Now you could analyze it. I want to move my stop here. I want to move my stop there. The sad thing is, if you did play with all that, it would have came down and stopped you out on most of this. The reason why you're seeing this just being chop, so we're kind of seeing just a lot of chop in this zone. And if I get my tool out, you can see it just came down, then went up a little bit, came back down, went up a little bit, came back down. Now you could say it's creating this, right? A head and shoulders on the 15-minute, and we're going to just crash and wreck all the way down here again. We could. Really, to me, it just doesn't matter, mainly because I shouldn't be even looking at the charts and trading it anyways. The gaps were less than 0.5, and am I surprised to see what price action did? No. And that's really what I wanted to point out in the video to begin with, and I'm hoping that you're seeing that, because if you teach yourself a system or learn a system or dial in whatever you decide to do, a good system is telling you not to trade when it's not worth trading. So that is an actual action step for you, right? That's something that would say, okay, well, was I successful today? Yes. Well, I didn't trade. Okay, that's fine. Measuring yourself in success of capital is probably not the best way to be looking at trading. The best way to be looking at trading is, are you executing with the highest potential on the favor of what you want? So today wasn't very high potential in a trade. So for me to get into that trade would have been really me being foolish. And now that it's ran up and it worked out if this was my target. Most of the time we like to see a target 2, target 3 in this space. And even then, I'm not real excited about the risk to reward. Now, that's not always what I lock to either, to be honest, because every day, if you're not hitting your stop and you keep grinding and hitting your profit, you are you're not the hare in the race anymore. You're that tortoise. And the tortoise usually, actually wins a race, right? And that's what you would be doing with your account you start to build it. So it's not financial advice, for sure. Each their own. I want everybody to have their own freedom in this and do your own trading you see fit. But that's what we're looking for to gain the biggest strength in your trading knowledge. So I guess now I'm kind of rambling out here, but you can see that we are seeing the mid time frames fighting here. That's what's basically happening on the 4-hour, 1 hour. I've talked about this in the last couple of videos. Again, the 4-hour is still, it's been grinding up and it's been holding up here. That's all a good sign. It does look like it wants to kind of roll on down possibly and grind out. So this could trade on down into this lower area somewhere in here. Possibly it may not. Price action may hold right up in this area, and all these just kind of move along and just push price action on up. Overall, in the larger time frames, the daily, the weekly, we've talked about it. It is looking for this kind of higher time frame, at least around that 72 to 74,000. It would not be surprising if we close the week at that. But obviously, we need to see the 1 hour kind of grind, do some rotation through here. The 4-hour kind of push out as well, but that could actually happen in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we could see price action setting up. Again, all we're going to do is look at the gap on the lines every day, and if the gap is strong, then we're going to have a high probability of trade. We're going to trade it. If it's weak, then the high probability is not going to work, and we won't trade it. So both successful for sure. But other than that, that's all I'm really going to point out today. It is a low-key day. We didn't take a trade. I didn't take a trade. No one that I know did either, mainly because I just pointed out. The system said no. I said no. Went relaxed and enjoyed it. Wasn't real excited on getting that chops suey on the price. So, all right, guys, I'll go ahead and leave it with that. Like and subscribe. We're always pointing out this. Go ahead and get involved in our live trades. Actually, do happen. That's why we are at 8:30 Central Standard Time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The reason why we're there because we want to be part of price action when things start to happen. Right? Remember, I was talking about that New York Stock Exchange open. When the candle opens up, you get some volatility. That's about when the live is starting, and then the candles are setting up to be able to see action. So you could monitor or even copy trade, if you will, if you wanted. Now, again, pointing out, make sure you kind of know what you're doing, because a lot of times we end the live before the exit happened in the trade, and it may not be the perfect exit of what happened on the live. But regardless, it does. The entry and all that happens on the live. Talks about the layout and all the levels, and talks about everything that you and I are talking about in this, and I'm pointing it out. But it does it live. So that is it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. Thank you for hanging out and watching this video. Ask questions if you have any. We're here to answer them, at least for now. We are starting to kind of look at, like I've said in the past, analyzing if we want to maintain the channel, the structure, the lives. We'll see. We may just be doing it for fun in the long run, and not be so much as willing to help out and guide. Not to be selfish in this, but it does take a lot of energy and time, and we like to do stuff that's fun. So that's about it, guys. I'll see you later.